Well, here we are again. Here we are again. It just seems like a few minutes ago when Dave MacArthur was putting the stage up here and we were together. I hope you've all met my daughter, Madeline. Madeline, where are you right now? Where is Madeline out here? Well, she'll be here in a second. She'll come screaming up. If you haven't met Madeline, you'll know Madeline is, like her mother, a handful. But, you know, you've heard the story. You may have heard the story from me. A few months ago, Madeline was getting ready for school. She's in first grade. And she was putting her backpack together. And she realized that we forgot her homework folder. And so she said, "Where's the homework folder, Dad?" We got it. We put it in there. And I said, "Madeline, I'm really sorry we forgot the homework folder." And she said, "That's okay, Dad. Adults forget things." Hey! Adults forget things. Well, we're here today because we can't forget the basics that make this country great and that make our future so bright. You know, some people call it different things. I refer to it as the American dream. You know, the American dream, what's special about America is what we can't forget. And the first place I like to start, and we do this every time because I've been taught well by my friend Joe Frank and some of you others here, the first thing we need to do is when we think about how great our country is to remember those men and women who have served in our armed forces and honor them. So if you have served, will you raise your hand so we can see you and thank you? Thank you. Thank you for your service. In a special way, I remember my brother. He's a Marine. He's over in Okinawa, and he's serving in Okinawa. His family's over there. You know, it's the families that often are the ones that give the extra. My brother is a great hero, but my sister-in-law is even more of a hero, I think, for how she raises her kids and all. But so we can't forget. As Madeline said, we adults can't forget things. And I want to say today something about not forgetting what we just did. If you weren't a part of our campaign, and I know most of you are that are here, we did something very special in this last election cycle. We took a campaign where people said, "Why are you running? Nobody's allowed to run in the Gephardt seat." That guy's name is Carnahan. And we took our effort together. We did it. And we started out with a few people here, and we built an army of people. We raised $1.6 million. People said we couldn't raise $1,600 when we started, and that was because the generosity not of the fat cats, the big timers, but because that everybody came together. We distributed 180,000 pieces of literature door to door. I know some of you were part of that, others did other ways, and we made thousands and thousands of phone calls. So we should be very proud of ourselves, what we did. But the most important thing we did was, I think we built an opportunity, we built a sense of community and pride. People for the first time said, "I want to run, I want to help Gloria Brown get elected, or John McCarty get elected, or Bob Boyer get elected. I want to help people that really care and change what's going on." It was really special. So the first thing I want to do is not forget to say thank you. Thank you for what you did. And I want to single out 3 people, if you'll bear with me. We put together a little certificate. We call ourselves the Martin Minutemen. You know, the people that'll come in and we're on the wall like at the Revolutionary War, the Minutemen. On a minute's notice, they can come help. We call ourselves the Minutemen, our volunteers. I want to single out 3 people that stand for what we did and thank them so we don't forget. The first one is a guy named Carl Glatz. If you don't know Carl, you're missing out on a special man, but I wouldn't be surprised because he's quiet. But Carl Glatz represents all those people that came with us and knocked on doors over and over again. Carl was so concerned that America was being run into a ditch that he actually ran his car into a ditch for us during the campaign. He really did. I'm glad someone didn't say you're flipping the car over, our country over, because he would have done that. But Carl Glatz is a great patron, and we have this outstanding volunteer effort, lifetime achievement in the Martin Minutemen. And I just want to say thank you, did, and to thank you for being one of our Minutemen. Thanks. And these are us, right? These are people that are us. But I wanted to single them out and say thank you. The last one that I want to bring up is Heather. And if you have been around our campaign, Heather has been a part of our volunteering, our smiling face. And part of the reason why I asked Heather to come up is because when we think about why we're doing this, we think about the joy she has and her future. Her mother is Arlene, probably the proudest mom here except for my wife. But the pride that we have for our children, and Heather's been an invaluable part of our campaign and the joy she brings. And I just want to say thank you, and Heather, and give you this certificate. And she made a really cool picture over here. She's an artist, too. It's really cool for me. So I wanted to say we won't forget, and we don't forget our people that helped us, and thank you all for everything you did and everything you have done. So we're going forward now, and I want to tell you why I'm running and what it means. I mentioned that America is so great. Well, it's so great because of the freedom we have. It's not really great because of our genetics. Alex Belko, I'm not just looking at you for fun. No, I'm just teasing. It's not our genetics. It's not who we are. We're a hodgepodge. Have you ever seen the poem on the base of the Statue of Liberty? It talks about the keep your storied pomp to the European lands. And Lady Liberty welcomes the wretched refuse. And they bring to America. Why? Because of our freedom. America is great because of the freedom we have and the Constitution we have. And it is in jeopardy. Right now in Washington, D.C., you know, they're debating whether to raise the debt ceiling. Have you heard about this? And my wife said today on CNN, they did a poll. They did a quick poll, and they said, how many Americans think they should raise the debt ceiling? 69% of the people said, don't raise the debt ceiling. We know that. And yet in Washington, D.C., our Republicans are actually saying, well, we'll figure out how to raise the debt ceiling. The spending has to stop. It has to stop. It has to stop, and we're going to stop it. We're going to be part of stopping that spending. In Washington, D.C., we have people that don't understand that what we care about is raising our families, living our lives, building our dreams. We care about private sector jobs. Have you been to the Crestwood Mall? Yeah. Have you been to the Crestwood Mall? Yeah. When I drive down Watson Road, I say to myself, what is the future if we don't create an environment where people will come and build jobs? You know, when I flew into Washington, D.C. 6 weeks ago, I flew in, you know what I saw? They're building buildings and filling them. They're filling them with employees and our tax dollars, and they're transferring our lives to the Beltway. And we're back here with the Crestwood Mall. It's got to stop. We've got an IRS code, a tax code, that is penalizing people that work and rewarding you if you have the influence to make it work. If you're a big enough business or a big enough union, you have a chance to change it. We need to change the IRS code, dramatically lower the cost of being an American and being a hardworking American. I want to, America's great. America's greatness. I'll tell you, the #1 threat to America's greatness right now is Obamacare. And I want to tell you something that my wife is here. Are you coming up here, Carol? You're a mile away now. My wife, Carol, is coming up here. I know she's going to work her way up. My wife, Carol, is a great mom, but she's also a physician. And she has taught me more about the medical system. And what we know Obamacare will do is it will take away our freedom. And it will lead us to a situation where bureaucrats in Washington will decide what your life is worth and how you can be treated. And it doesn't just, this is not something that we should make better. We must repeal Obamacare, and we must do it right away. I'm trying to get my wife up here to say thank you to her. I want to pause and say, this is a hard thing to do, to run for Congress. And I have so many of you to be grateful for, friends, for helping us. But the #1 person I have to be grateful to, by the way, did McCarty arrange the sun to come like that? Is it like a sign? Is to thank my wife, Carol. We are able to do this because she's come around here, honey. There's stairs. Here, give me Mikey. There is, Carol has been willing to do it, and she cares enough about what's happening. Come here. And this is Mikey. And I think if you ask Carol, she would tell you this is why we're doing it right here. Yeah. A future for our kids. Oh, yeah. A future for our kids. There she is, my wife, Carol. Thank you, Carol. You want to say anything?
Hello. Many of you know I do not like public speaking very much. But I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. I mean, when we went through the last campaign, we got so much support. I mean, people coming over at the last minute to babysit because we couldn't find anybody and I had to work, or, I mean, people driving our children places, and I mean, you wouldn't believe the support we got, and I just appreciate it so much. And we couldn't do it without all of you, obviously, and literally. But it was funny when Ed said he wanted to run again.
Sort of funny.
Actually.
It was sort of funny.
Yeah. Actually, Bob said to me, he said, you know, Carol, I can't believe you agreed to do this again. Or something like that. Or I was surprised. But it's really true. You know, everything that's happened in the last 2 years has been drastic in a bad way. And we need to do something. We need to elect people who are going to, you know, make a change. And it's for our children, you know. And if we're not going to do it and step up, then who will? And, you know, like I told you, it's a true story. I was doing laundry and I had CNN on today. And you got the number wrong. It was actually 60% for, 30% against. But anyway, he came home and I said, you wouldn't vote to raise the debt ceiling, would you? And he said, no. And I was like, okay, good answer. You know, it's ridiculous that...
I might get her vote after all, we'll see.
It's ridiculous that we had... I mean, I go back, think about Scott Brown being elected, and that was an election in Massachusetts to stop Obamacare, and they ignored us. And then we had the 2010 election and picked up the House in record numbers, and they ignored us. And now we're talking about the debt ceiling, and we have a CNN poll saying 60% don't want it, and the commentator said people haven't been educated enough. This is the intellectual elite telling us what to do, and I'm just sick of it. So we need to send somebody to Washington who's got a little backbone to tell them to, you know, listen to us. So anyway, that's all I have to say.
So between Nieves and her, I don't know, I'm thinking the third best on the ticket right now, but thank you, Carol. Let me just finish. We have a couple more. I think we have a few more things, and then Jesse Irwin's going to play music. Yep, thank you. I want to tell you, I just found a photograph the other day. I don't know if you all sometimes find a photograph, it's a snapshot, and it catches your imagination, and you look at it and you think how much something's changed. It was a photograph from 1995, which is the year, actually, I moved here. I moved to St. Louis in 1995, and it was me and my brother, and my arms around him. And since 1995, a lot's changed in my life. You know, I got married, we have kids. We've moved our family to St. Louis, started our family here, and has stayed here fighting for the future of St. Louis. A lot of things have happened, but think about what's happened to our country since 1995. In 1995, gasoline was $1.16 a gallon. We still have no coherent energy policy in America. We have more oil in Alaska than we could ever imagine, and we won't go get it. It's so crazy. Since 1995, $4 trillion in debt. Now we're at $14 trillion, $10 trillion. Both parties can be held accountable. Both parties should be held accountable. Since 1995, we've seen the number of government employees grow exponentially. Since 1995, what have we seen? Unemployment now has dramatically changed. But how about 1995 for Missouri, for this part of the state? We used to be a hub. We used to have a beer company that was American-owned. We used to have businesses that were thriving and spinning off businesses. We used to have Monsanto. We used to have all these companies doing things. Chrysler plant. We had a Chrysler plant. We had a Ford plant. Well, a lot has changed since 1995. And in the last 2 years, we've seen something change that I think we never thought we would. Our American institutions, our military, our Constitution, our church, our education are threatened by what President Obama has done. Today I'm standing before you. I'm running for the Congress to represent the people of the 2nd District. You know who I am. You're going to hold me accountable. But I know this. First, we have to change the president. And we all need to do that. We need to get together and do that. And then we have to band together like we've done before and help ourselves and help other candidates win. Every Brian Nieves and Gloria Brown and McCarty and Matt Aylen's back here. Matt Aylen's here from St. Charles. He's running in the 15th up in St. Charles. He's a great guy, been active in lots of great things. Matt, thank you for coming down here to a different part of the country down here in South County. That's a little St. Charles dig there. Don't tell him from St. Anyway. And Alan Isett is here also. I want to say thank you to Alan for coming. He's a guy that has fought the fight for a long time. So what can we do? Well, we're starting today. As my friend Mark Ohlendorf said, it's about 6 years till the election, right? So we have to pace ourselves. Well, it's a long way off. But we're going to start right now making an argument about the future of the country and the future of this St. Louis metropolitan region. because we have to get back to basics. And we have to have a congressman, we have to have someone representing us who will fight for the future. So this election is about you. It's going to be a primary, there's going to be races, it's going to be about you. It's going to be, what do you want? And I believe that we have a chance to take all the hard work we've done and build on it and do it again. Get Carl Glatz out knocking doors. Get Sandy on the phone. We got a cell phone. She's on it already. She's up to 4,000 votes today, calls today. And find whatever way you can. So today I'm asking for your help. Will you please, again, rejoin this effort, or join for the first time, and help us do this? Will you become a part of our campaign? Will you pray for us? Will you help tell your neighbors? Will you host a coffee? Will you have something? Will you come knock doors? Will you be a part of whatever it is that you're called to do to help us? That includes contributions to the campaign. That's a big deal. Because this race is going to come down to a choice. Do we want a brighter future that we know is possible, or do we want more of the same? And if we band together, and if we get back to basics, and if we do the things that we did before so well in our last race, then come November of 2012, not only we will see a new president elected, we'll see a new congressman, and we'll be on our way to reclaiming America and making sure that the American dream that we want for our children and our grandchildren is a reality. So thank you very much for being here. We'll be in touch with you soon, and God bless you all. Thank you.